we're all set here. Lennox 3, check 2, I'm not there yet.
Macomb 410, I'm clear out the family numbers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a rather hectic day for the Evanston Police Department. Please watch the news tomorrow. There'll be several significant announcements from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office on what we've been working on today. Also, the results of the combined operation between the Cook County Sheriff's Department, the 24th District, Lincolnwood PD, Skokie PD, and the Evanston Police Department has provided us with significant information on multiple open criminal cases that we're extremely pleased with. Unfortunately, the men and women who did all that work were also the men and women who are going to receive a lot of awards tonight. So we're going to make a fuss over the people that are here and mention the people that are not. So anyway, I appreciate your patience in this. Thank you. DC?
Good evening, and thank you for attending. I'm Deputy Chief Jeff Jamrez of the Investigative Services Division. Joining me this evening in presenting these awards of recognition are Deputy Chief Aretha Hartley of the Support Division and Acting Deputy Chief Joe Wozni of the Field Operations Division. Together, we welcome our fellow officers and award recipients, families, and friends to this evening's award ceremony sponsored by the Evanston Police Department. The purpose of this ceremony is to publicly recognize police officers and citizens that have demonstrated commitment and dedication to the Evanston community that promotes a better quality of life in the city of Evanston. I want to briefly read the categories awards that are going to be honored tonight. The Medal of Valor. This is the highest award that can be given to department members who, by an act of outstanding bravery or heroism, has demonstrated a great degree of selflessness and personal courage which resulted in the saving of a human life. Without such actions by department members, the person would have died or suffered great bodily harm. A commendation. This is the department's second highest form of recognition. This is awarded to members who distinguish themselves and bring credit to the department by highly credible or unusual acts in the performance of police duties. The honorable mention. This is the third highest form of recognition. It should be given for outstanding police work, such as singularly solving a serious crime or by individual initiative apprehending a criminal in the act of committing a crime. The Certificate of Recognition. This is the fourth level of recognition and is awarded for acts of service normally expected of a member in the course of everyday duties, but which merit recognition because of special circumstances. The Unit Citation. The Chief of Police may award to a unit, bureau, or specialty in recognition of their combined efforts toward the goals and missions of the police department. Chief's Special Recognition. The Chief of Police may present special awards to members or citizens based on exceptional services or contributions. Police Service Commendation. Numerous members may be involved in special projects or dedication to duty that deserve the highest honor and recognition. The nominee should have accomplished something administratively or excelled in a specialty that has brought special credit to the department or to the city of Evanston. The Officer of the Year Award. Officer of the Year is awarded by the Chief of Police to a police officer of any rank who has shown a consistent and exemplary high level of work and support of the department's mission and value statement, including support of the police and community partnership. I will now start with the Fitness Awards. Officers Chelsea Brown and Officer Kevin Champion, would you please come forward? Presented to Officer Chelsea Brown with the award for the most physically fit officer. Congratulations. And presented to Officer Kevin Champion with the award for the most physically improved. Thank you. Detective Joe Bush is truly one of our finest Evanston police officers. His work ethic is second to none in that he exhibits a persistent, persuasive, and meticulous style. He gives his all every day. On Detective Bush's first day back after surviving a serious accident, he responded to a report of a burglary in progress in the 800 block of Hartree. Detective Bush followed footprints in the snow from the Hartree location to a residence on Madison Street. His persistence allowed him access to the residence, where 3 burglary suspects were hiding. All 3 individuals were identified by witnesses and arrested. Detective Bush's skillful interview produced confessions and the recovery of stolen property. Then in September of 2011, a murder was committed on the sidewalk in the 500 block of Howard Street. The victim, who was handicapped, was walking to the bus stop when he was attacked, knocked unconscious, and robbed. Working with extremely grainy video to make an identification of the offender, Detective Bush meticulously canvassed the surrounding neighborhoods to develop an informant that provided him with the identity of the offender, who was later apprehended and charged with that murder. Detective Bush had also investigated another residential burglary where $20,000 worth of stolen property that included jewelry, a computer, and a valuable guitar were taken. Detective Bush was able to track down 2 of the stolen items being pawned, which led him to a suspect that was apprehended, confessed, and the recovery of the property was made. The chief has something to say in Detective Bush's absence.
Once again, I want to thank Detective Bush for his efforts that won him this accolade tonight. But more importantly, today, that work continues. Detective Bush is in the process of developing leads on several open homicide cases and the shooting at Fleetwood Jourdain, which had a significant impact on the community, and that's why he's not with us this evening. That pressing moment of opportunity has presented itself through that joint operation, and Detective Bush is pursuing that information relentlessly, which will result in a safer Evanston. So with Joe not being here, I want to express my personal appreciation for his dedication to duty and the work not only that earned him this recognition for last year, but the work that continues this evening. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, I would like to introduce Acting Deputy Chief Wozni for the next awards.
Good evening. Will our canine handler, Tony Sosa, and Dave and Ramey Gaius, please step forward? The Evanston Police Department would like to acknowledge your continued support of the Evanston Police Department Canine Unit and to present you with this plaque.
I'd like to thank Ramey and Dave for their continued support. They've supported Jack from the beginning and now us, and it just makes my job that much simpler, where I can go ahead and just do what I'm supposed to do with Roni. She's donated all this food and has made sure that he's at the top level of food, supplements, hair products. No, I'm just kidding. They've just continued supporting, and it's I know it's costly, and I thank you very much for that.
We'd also like to recognize Dr. Mark Howes of the Berglund Animal Hospital. We'd like to acknowledge his continued support of the Evanston Police Department's Canine Unit and to present him also with a plaque.
This plaque is for Dr. House. Hopefully he hangs it in his office, because last time I saw is Ramey and Dr. House and Dave didn't really have anything. I wanted them to have something to show the dog. I wanted to thank Dr. House for providing excellent care for him and for recognizing that he's also done it for Jack, for the dog that the department had before that. Thank you again.
At this time, I'd like to present the department's honorable mention awards. Would Officer Stephen Klopak please come forward? On February 16, 2012, you were assigned to a plainclothes burglary suppression detail. While on patrol in the area of Oakton and Asbury, you observed a vehicle and conducted a traffic stop. During the stop, you observed various electronic items on the floor of the vehicle, which the vehicle occupants could not explain. Subsequent to your investigation, you were able to establish that several items in the vehicle had been taken from vehicles in the area. Due to your proactive patrolling and skillful questioning, you were able to charge 3 offenders with several felonies related to these vehicle burglaries. We present you with this honorable mention. Congratulations. Detective Elizabeth Glynn, will you please come forward?
Detective Glynn's also tied up in the cases we're managing today. If she makes it, we'll do this one at the end.
Will Traffic Officer Scott Safier please come forward? On August 5th, 2012, you responded to the area of 803 Sheridan for a shots fired call. Once on scene, you observed a subject acting suspiciously. Upon attempting to approach the subject, he fled on foot from you. You pursued the subject, noting he flung a silver object away from himself just prior to you catching him. You were able to gain a verbal admission on scene from the subject that the object he threw was a firearm. You were able to subsequently secure a confession under Miranda for this fact, and due to your keen observation, dedication, and skillful questioning, the subject was charged with several offenses, including a felony weapons charge. We present you this honorable mention. Congratulations, Scott. Would Officer Sean O'Brien please come forward? Sean is receiving 2 awards this evening: the Medal of Valor in the 2013 Emergency Medical Service Hero awarded to recipients from the Illinois Department of Public Health. I'd like to read a press release from the Office of the Governor, Pat Quinn. Police Officer Sean O'Brien of the Evanston Police Department is being recognized for his saving the life of a 7-year-old boy on March the 5th, 2013 in Des Plaines, Illinois. O'Brien, who was off duty, spotted a young boy running around a busy intersection in Des Plaines. Noting the boy was alone, Officer O'Brien got out of his car and tried to lure the boy to safety. However, the boy started running toward the Des Plaines River. The boy then hurled a chunk of snow into the water, stood for a moment, and jumped in after it. O'Brien was just a few feet behind trying to catch up to the boy, and all he saw was the boy's orange Chicago Bears cap floating in the river. O'Brien jumped into the water, saw a hand break the water surface, grabbed it, and pulled the boy out of the water. O'Brien carried the boy back to his SUV, where he warmed him while waiting for an ambulance. The boy would have certainly succumbed to the icy waters, and had it not been for O'Brien's quick actions. This wasn't the first life-saving effort for O'Brien. In 2009, he saved a fellow police officer from a burning car after an automobile accident. We present you with this Medal of Valor from the Evanston Police Department and the 2013 Emergency Medical Service Hero Award, recipient of the Illinois Department of Public Health, on behalf of the Governor, Pat Quinn. I'd like to introduce Deputy Chief Aretha Hartley.
Good evening. Would Nicholas Dowdle please come forward? On July 16, 2012, you were on duty as a lifeguard assigned to Lee Street Beach. You observed a small child in the water and watched as she splashed around for a short time and then lay still flat face down in the water. You immediately sprang to action, retrieving the unconscious child from the water and checking for signs of life. Upon detecting no pulse, you began life-saving CPR procedures. The child responded and regained consciousness. Your attentiveness and immediate response to this emergency situation saved this child's life and averted a tragedy. We present you with this Chief's Special Award. Would Brian Rowell please come forward? On April 24, 2013, you were driving home through the area of Simpson and Darrow when you observed a shots fired incident. You noted the offender's description and stayed on scene in order to assist responding units as an eyewitness. You worked with investigating detectives to identify the offender, and these detectives were able to subsequently obtain a confession. This offender was shortly thereafter arrested and charged with felony aggravated discharge of a firearm. Your alert observations during the incident and calm, immediate response to a dangerous situation resulted in the rapid clearance of a violent crime and possible prevention of future crime by this offender. We present you with this Special Chief's Award. Would Orlando Owens please come forward? Okay. Would Brian Drake please come forward? On Sunday, April 14, 2013, you came across a patient in the roadway. You stopped your vehicle and assisted another bystander in opening this gentleman's airway. As fire and police personnel arrived on scene, you continued to perform CPR. As the first police officer arrived on scene, you advised him to locate an AED machine. The gentleman was hooked up within seconds and receiving his first shock. During this entire time, you were able to provide quality care and comfort to a person in dire distress. Your selfless and quick action saved this man's life. We present you with this life-saving award. At this time, I'll turn the podium over to Deputy Chief Jamrez.
Thank you. Well, this concludes our ceremony for this evening. On behalf of Mayor Tisdall and Chief Eddington and the executive staff of the Evanston Police Department, we would like to thank you for attending this celebration of awards to our members and citizens of the city of Evanston. Thank you and good night.